Such a pleasure to have you both here with us to talk about this wonderful, wonderful film called Lullaby. Maybe you could just kick off with a brief introduction in your own words. Perhaps you, Alauda, how would you describe this film to someone who doesn't know anything about it?
Well, Lullaby, Cinco Lobitos, is the story of a mother, a beginner. It's her first baby. At certain point in the story, because her couple has to leave the city due to work reasons, she finds herself alone and kind of she finds it difficult to cope with the baby. So she tries to find some shelter at her parents' house. She has this fantasy that about coming back to her parents' house, that she's going to be taken care of. But sometimes, we come back to our parents' house thinking that it's the same that when we were kids or teenagers, but the time passes, so we find that our parents are getting older as we are getting older too.
And I really had a personal connection for me, not to talk about myself too much. I had a baby
Oh, lovely.
18 months ago, so this all felt very raw and authentic to me. But what was the inspiration for you, and why did you want to tell this particular story?
Well, the first inspiration was my own motherhood, my first year as a mother. I thought it was a very complex experience. I mean, it was joy, it was pain, it was confusion. There was need for my own mother. There was also a change in the way I was seeing my own parents. I see them in a different light. And I thought it was a very complex experience, but I couldn't find so much narrative about it. So I began to write, to take notes. And well, as long as it was developing the project, I begin to see so many layers, and then, well, that is Cinco Lobitos.
And Susi, what was the appeal for you? Why did you want to be part of this film and play your particular character of the mother?
Por el guión en su totalidad. Vi que tenía una profundidad extraordinaria y que tenía muchos aspectos para poder entrar y explorar el mundo de esta familia en general, ¿no? Y con mi personaje en concreto me entusiasmó la fuerza que tiene, tan exagerada a veces, y el reto de hacer humano a un personaje que podía caer mal de entrada, ¿no? Por su rigidez. Y me atrajo en general el guión, la historia en conjunto. Cuando la leí me emocioné muchísimo y no quería perderme la posibilidad de trabajar en ella.
And how do you decide on your cast, in particular with Susi and with Laya? How did you know these were the right people to be in your film? And how did you work with them to create the kind of intimacy and what feels like a very authentic, familiar relationship between them all on the set?
Well, they were a dream. I have this very strong intuition that they have to be Laya and Susi from the very beginning. That I don't think it happens every time, but this time it happened that way. And then I tried to rationalize the intuition, and I knew it was Susi could bring all that truth and complexity to a character that usually is portrayed in a more cliche way, the housewife. But I think she could bring all that complexity and character. And Laya also, it feels like absolutely the right choice because she has all this truth in everything she does as well. And she looks like she's in the middle of of a girl, but a woman. And I love that energy. And I was so lucky that they say yes, because they're absolutely lucky. And we work a lot about the mood, about the real feeling of that I wanted to build for the movie. For me, it was very important to build a film that you could feel very intimate and very real. I think we are surrounded for many films that that look for evasion or look more globalized, in terms even of feeling, of a conversation, of plot twist. But I was obsessed with reality and with truth and with honesty. Honesty was a very important word in everything we were doing, and we work a lot about that. We made improvisations. We tried to be like a real family. We went to the real locations. They were kind of semi-living there, right? Because we had to build this family. So we work a lot looking for that honesty and that sense of real life.
For you, Susi, how was it working on the set with your director, but also with Laya as your daughter? And how did you build that relationship with her to make it seem very authentic on screen?
En principio no fue en plató también durante el rodaje, pero sobre todo fue charlas y ensayos previos al rodaje. Ahí se definió bastante por parte de Laia cómo intuía que podían ir, por qué camino iban los personajes, y a partir de las improvisaciones que ella planteaba pudimos descubrir capas un poquito más hondas de cada personaje, de manera que a partir de ahí, luego ya en el rodaje, resultaba más fluida la comunicación entre nosotros, ¿no? La base fue los ensayos que ella planteó, que eran improvisaciones que no eran escenas de la película, sino escenas de las que se hablaba en la película o que habían pasado pero no se contaban, ¿no? Y todo eso era un material que nos dio mucha consistencia tanto a Laia como a mí para poder interactuar luego en escena.
And what I think is very interesting in the film is that it both presents and kind of subverts our ideas about stereotypes of gender and of who role it is to care for, you know, whether that's children or our elders. And the nuance and complexity comes out in the fact that each person, particularly the grandmother and the mother, are taking on those roles, but also they feel conflicted, and so it's one half kind of perpetuating the same pattern, but also at the same time wanting to break free of it or find new ways of doing it. So what do you think your film has to say about gender stereotypes and who takes on the role of caring?
Well, definitely there's a reflection and a lot of questions about the distribution of the taking care of someone, and I was very concerned about. I was trying to break stereotypes, and I was kind of. I studied like the clichés, you know, right, before doing the movie, so I could break them when I was portraying them, and at the end I realized that. The more intimate I was getting to the story, and to look at the women in the story, and of course about the men, but the protagonists are the women, in a very intimate way, I could see all those conflicts, all those nuances, all that complexity, because it was about an individual trap, sometimes for an education model, and sometimes because daily life, you know, or if you don't have work and you have to say yes, and then your boyfriend leaves, and you. So for me, the interesting journey was to get very intimate, very close to that, to those women, and understand them from a very individual point of view. I think that's what breaks the cliché. The stereotype.
And do you think there's more that needs to be done in society to kind of help break some of those stereotypes, or at least give women more choice? Because it feels a lot for Leia's character, she feels trapped because she doesn't have many options.
Yeah, well, I think we are totally in the middle of the conversation. We are having the conversation right now, and the thing is that we are having this conversation, we still need to take care of our kids and of our elder people. So many women are trying to survive right now daily life, right? But not only women, even, you know, couples, because I think the systemic thing affects everybody, right? But yeah, there's a lot to be talked and to be done still. What I like to think about my film is that it brings a lot of, that it brings some kind of shelter or understanding to maybe some young mother, or some other mothers that were in that place sometime. That kind of it's kind of saying, okay, we see you. Okay, we see you. We know we have to have this conversation.
And on that point, do you think that is kind of the power of cinema, because it allows empathy, but also representation, and why do you think it's so important for people to feel seen, for those stories to be told? Because I don't feel like it has been. And I was thinking also, obviously, Pedro Almodovar's film, very different film, but Parallel Mothers. I watched that and had a similar feeling. I haven't seen, you know, even just the detail of what it takes to care for a child on the screen. So it's an important moment. And why is it important?
Yeah, it's funny because it's a very universal experience. Like everybody, even if you are not a mother, but everybody's a daughter or a son, right? But it's such a universal experience, and there's less narrative. I don't know. I don't know why. Yeah.
And Susi, why did you feel that the film breaks down important stereotypes and shows the reality of what it's like for also different generations of women.
Rompiéndolos, es decir, desde un lugar de mucha fluidez y mucha sencillez al mismo tiempo. Ella retrata en la película, todos retratamos en la película, vamos, pero la idea de ella yo sentí que era crear un mundo a partir de un núcleo muy pequeño, crear todo un mundo que pudiera, digamos, expandirse a la comprensión de otras personas, a la identificación de otras personas, porque lo que sucede en la familia sucede en casi todas las familias, aunque sea de maneras diferentes. Siempre está el ciclo del nacimiento, la madurez y la muerte. Entonces, eso lo han vivido todas las familias en el mundo. Y tal y como está contada la película, está llena de pequeños matices que la hacen más personal y más identificable todavía.
Just finally, what does it mean to you to have the film showing here as part of Berlin Film Festival? And what do you hope people will feel when they leave the cinema, being able to watch it on the big screen?
But it's been a dream. I feel like a lucky dreamer. You know, you once had a dream, and now I'm seeing that it's happening. Tonight it was the world premiere, and it was beautiful. People were lovely. We could feel that they connect with the movie. You know, when you are in the theater, and because I mean, it's a drama. It's more dramatic what it's going on, but still there is a sense of humor in the movie. And the moment people start to laugh and to connect with these characters, I was so happy. It was a magical night. It was very beautiful, and I feel everybody connects with the emotion and in a very tender way, which it was very nice. I think everybody was recognizing her mother or recognizing herself as a mother. A lot of women were asking questions, and I really appreciate that. It was a very, very special evening.
And Susi, what did it mean to you to be here in Berlin to show the film?
Es la tercera vez que estoy en Berlín por una película, pero para mí esta tiene una importancia especial porque siendo una película que nace pequeña, un festival así la hace grande y le da la dimensión que realmente tiene la película, ¿no? Entonces me parece que la Berlinale es un festival con una capacidad de selección muy inteligente, muy fina, y creo que ayer hablábamos de suerte, puede que entre la suerte también, pero creo que es consecuencia del trabajo que se ha desarrollado a lo largo de la película.
Well, out of time, but it's been such a pleasure to speak to you both. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your time, Berlin.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
So much.